Hello friends, welcome to GCA. Hope you all are doing good. So today the video is regarding India-Bangladesh relations, and this is going to be the 7th video in the relationship series. And before that I have already uploaded India's relationship with countries like US, China, Pakistan, Russia, Israel and Nepal. And if you want to watch these videos, the link is available in the I button. So this video is going to be in crisp form, where firstly I will cover a little bit of background, followed by major issues between both the countries, then areas of cooperation, and finally the importance of Bangladesh for India. So again, without wasting any time, let us start. So let us first discuss little bit of background. So it all started with the partition of British India when it was divided into two parts, India and Pakistan. India was formed out of majority of Hindus and Pakistan was formed out of majority of Muslims. Now Pakistan was geographically divided into two regions, West Pakistan and East Pakistan. West Pakistan, which is the present day Pakistan, and the East Pakistan, which is the present day Bangladesh. Now West Pakistan consisted of majority of Punjabis followed by Sindhis and Pashtun, and East Pakistan at that time consisted of majority of Bengali population. Now in 1949, the Awami League was formed with the aim of getting autonomy from the Western Pakistan. Then following the years of struggle, finally in 1970, Awami League under the premiership of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman wins an election victory, but that was not recognized by the government in West Pakistan, and that led to major riots. And following this, Pakistan military started launching campaigns to suppress the independence movement, where it mainly targeted Hindus, who at that time consisted of 18% of East Pakistan's population. Now because of the riots, an estimated 10 million Bengalis they became refugees in India, and further 20 million were internally displaced, and an estimated 2 lakh to 4 lakh Bengali women were systematically raped by the Pakistan military. Then on 3rd of December in 1971, India officially entered the war on the side of Bangladesh, and this war lasted for 13 days, and finally on 16th of December 1971, Pakistan army surrendered, where 93,000 Pakistani soldiers were taken as prisoners of war by the Indian army, and the Bangladesh was liberated. So because of which Bangladesh celebrates its Independence Day every year on 16th of December. Now India's assistance to Bangladesh was not only at formal level but also at people to people level. That is, India not only provided support to Bangladesh during war, but also opened the gates for the people who were fleeing from the atrocities of Pakistan military, and at least 10 million people became refugees in India. And immediately after the independence of Bangladesh, India was one of the first country to recognize Bangladesh when it established full diplomatic relations. And India shared its longest border of 4,096 kilometers with Bangladesh, which is also the 5th longest border in the world. And India and Bangladesh are very close in terms of social cultural values, linguistic and economic linkages that are basically the result of common history and geographical proximity. But apart from these common factors, the relationship between both the countries have experienced ups and downs from last 50 years. For example, just 3 years after independence of Bangladesh, the relations between both the countries worsened when Bangladesh developed closer ties with Islamic nations and also participated in a number of OIC summits. Then in 1980s also, both the countries developed different Cold War alliances that further chilled bilateral relations, but it was only after the onset of economic liberalization in South Asia and the coming of Awami League into power when the relations started to improve. The Bangladesh government, they restored all the road and railway links, and also the historic Ganga Water Sharing Treaty was signed in 1996. And apart from all these, India and Bangladesh are on common lines as both are strategic partners in countering terrorism, and they are also the largest trading partners in South Asia. So let us now discuss the major areas of contention between both the countries. So the major areas of contention, the first one is the border issues. So as India and Bangladesh, they share longest border, but that border is porous and it has remained a constant headache for India for the last 5 decades. For example, through this border, the flow of unauthorized immigrants and refugees are taking place. Then there is a smuggling of drugs and illegal weapons, and most importantly, the recruitment and training and induction of jihadists is taking place. And I will discuss all these factors briefly later in the video. Now in order to counter this, the government of India installed thousands of kilometers of barbed wire and floodlights, and even adopted a controversial policy called shoot at sight policy, basically to counter the illegal movement across the border. And this policy also led to serious conflict between India's BSF and Bangladesh BDR in 2001, which resulted in the death of personnel from both the sides. Then another issue is of land boundary agreement of 1974. So after the independence of Bangladesh, both the countries they proposed to resolve boundary issues through an agreement that was signed in 1974 called as land boundary agreement that basically allowed both the countries to exchange enclaves, and agreement also provided that India would lease to Bangladesh a small area near Dahagam and Angarpota, which is called as the Teen Bhiga corridor, basically for the purpose of connecting both this Dahagam and Angarpota with Bangladesh. Now, this agreement was ratified by Bangladesh, but it was not ratified by Indian Parliament, as in India's viewpoint, it was ceding more to Bangladesh than what it is getting back in return. Then again in September 2011, a protocol was signed between both the countries, which agreed that people living in the border areas will not be dislocated, but this protocol only addressed certain issues of 1974 agreement because a constitutional amendment was required to ratify this agreement, but it was stalled by the Chief Minister of West Bengal and the opposition parties. Then finally in December 2014, the Indian government has taken a major step to resolve the land boundary dispute between both the countries pertaining to the enclaves and adverse possession islands. Then in May 2015, the constitutional amendment bill on land boundary agreement with Bangladesh was passed in the Rajya Sabha and later it was passed in Lok Sabha. So it led to the way for permanent settlement of decades old boundary disputes between two countries. And earlier the government of India had proposed to keep Assam out of the bill because it was losing disproportionate land in comparison to Bangladesh. But later it included Assam after the resistance from Congress party. Then the exchange of document paid the operationalization of 1974 LBA that provides the exchange of 162 enclaves between both the countries. And under this agreement, India gained 51 enclaves as compared to Bangladesh, which got 111 enclaves. And along with it, there was a maritime dispute, which was basically over the delimitation of territorial sea. The major reason for the dispute was the location of the land boundary terminus between both the countries and the determination of course of maritime boundary in the territorial sea. For example, India was demanding the determination of the boundary on equidistance method, whereas Bangladesh was demanding this through equitable solution. Now this dispute was preventing companies from investing in the sea blocks in the region. So the UN mediated, so Bangladesh wins maritime dispute with India when they got 3/4 of the total area. Now let us discuss the issue of illegal migration. So after the independence of Bangladesh, millions of Bangladeshi immigrants they entered India, mainly in the northeastern part of India. So this illegal migration is a threat to India's internal security because locals of these states they feel that they are getting marginalized in their own state and they are not getting proper opportunities to utilize their resources. So because of which it is leading to communal disturbance in the country. So the most affected states are West Bengal, Assam, Meghalaya, Nagaland, Bihar, Tripura, and they have also spread it to states like Tamil Nadu, Maharashtra, Gujarat, Rajasthan and Delhi. And it is estimated that between 15 to 20 million Bangladeshis staying illegally in India. And along with it, there is also issue of smuggling of fake currency. And as the National Investigation Agency of India has found that these fake currencies being smuggled into border through immigrants. And apart from this, security concern is also one of the main issue for India, as insurgency is the main factor which is leading to the straining relations of India and Bangladesh. The northeastern part of India is facing insurgency from last 6 decades. For example, the ISI is operating from Bangladesh and they are supporting the insurgents in the northeastern states of India, groups like NLFT, Liberation Front of Assam and National Democratic Front of Bodoland. Now talking about the water sharing disputes, first is the Ganga River dispute. So the major area of contention is the construction and operation of Farakka barrage by India to increase water supply in the river Hooghly. Now Bangladesh insists that it does not receive a fair share of Ganga's water during the drier season and it's get flooded during the monsoon when India releases excess water. Then the second is the Teesta River dispute. The Teesta which originates in Sikkim and it flows through West Bengal in India before entering Bangladesh and it merges with Brahmaputra River later. So this river is also important for both the countries for its agriculture use. Then in 1983, both the sides they enter into an agreement for the sharing of water during dry season with an allocation of 36% for Bangladesh, 39% for India and leaving 25% to be decided later. But this deal is pending from more than 2 decades and as per the agreement of 2011, it was decided that both the sides will share 50-50 of the water, but this agreement has not been signed because of the opposition from the Chief Minister of West Bengal. Then another issue is of hydroelectric power project. So Bangladesh has been demanding to stop the construction of the Paimukh hydroelectric power project on the Barak River, basically on the eastern edge of Bangladesh. So Bangladesh says that this massive dam will disrupt the seasonal rhythm of river and will have an adverse impact on the downstream agriculture, fisheries and ecology of the region. So the Indian government, they have assured Bangladesh that it will not take any unilateral decision on this project which may adversely affect Bangladesh. And apart from all this, another issue is of the connectivity. Like over the years, India has requested Bangladesh to provide route to their northeastern part, because at present we are only having one route, that is through Siliguri corridor, but Bangladesh has consistently denied transit facility to the northeastern part of India. And along with it, Bangladesh has also raised concerns over the rollout of the NRC exercise, which is basically carried out to flush out the illegal Bangladeshis. And finally, the most important issue is the China factor, as Bangladesh and China, they have decade-long diplomatic ties, and China is contributing largely to the infrastructural development in Bangladesh. And currently, Bangladesh is also a part of Belt and Road Initiative of China, which India has not signed. And along with it, it is also a major recipient of Chinese military inventory, including submarines. So these are the areas of contention between both the countries. So now let us discuss the area of cooperation between two countries. So the first area is the defense cooperation, and it all started with the establishment and training of Mukti Bahini during the Bangladesh Liberation War of 1971, and since then the long relations have been coexisted. And along with it, there are various joint exercises. For example, for Army we have exercise Sampriti with Bangladesh, and for Navy we have exercise Milan. And recently India has extended $500 million as a line of credit to Bangladesh for purchasing defense equipments from India, and also gifted 18 new 120 mortar guns to the Bangladesh Army. And in January this year, 122 member contingent of the Bangladesh Armed Forces, they participated in India's Republic Day parade. And also two Indian naval ships, INS Kulish and INS Sumedha, they visited Mongla port of Bangladesh in the first week of March, which makes the first ever naval visit by India in the last 50 years. And we all are aware that Bangladesh is also a part of China's Belt and Road Initiative, and now they are also keen to be a part of Indo-Pacific Strategic Initiative. And the second area is cooperation over rivers. Both the countries share 54 common rivers, and for that a bilateral joint river commission is working since 1972 so that both the countries can maximize benefit from this common river system. And recently India and Bangladesh, they have agreed to expand cooperation on these issues during the recent secretary level meeting. And our External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar has mentioned that India's position on sharing Testa River water has not changed, and this issue has become more contentious because water is a state subject, and West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee has always opposed this move to share Teesta water with Bangladesh. Then talking about economic relations, Bangladesh is India's biggest trading partner in South Asia, and it has appreciated the duty-free and quota-free access given to Bangladesh's export to India under the SAFTA agreement since 2011. Then, for talking about cooperation and connectivity, both the countries jointly inaugurated the newly restored railway link between Haldibari, India and Chilahati, Bangladesh, and they also welcomed the signing of second addendum to the protocol on inland water transit and trade, and they also agreed for an early operationalization of Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, Nepal Initiative Motor Vehicles Agreement. Then talking about cooperation on world forums, India thanked Bangladesh for supporting India in its election to the United Nations Security Council, and both the countries agreed to continue working together towards achieving early reforms of the United Nations Security Council, combating climate change, attainment of self-development goals, and the protection of rights of migrants. And they also highlighted that regional organizations such as SAARC and BIMSTEC, they have an important role to play. And after 2016 Uri attack, Bangladesh was one of the first country to support India that boycotted the SAARC summit that was to be held in Islamabad. Then they thanked India for convening the SAARC leaders video conference in March 2020 for the creation of SAARC Emergency Fund, basically to counter the effects of COVID-19. And now Bangladesh will assume the chairmanship of the Indian Ocean Rim Association this year, and they have requested for India's support for working together for achieving greater maritime safety and security. Then in terms of energy cooperation, Bangladesh is currently importing 1160 megawatt of power from India, and India has recently introduced the concept of regional power trading system, which will help the various regions of the country in reducing the power deficit by transferring surplus power from another region. And India is also looking to export electricity from its northeastern part with the potential to generate around 58,971 megawatt to its eastern state through Bangladesh. And then talking about nuclear energy pacts, India would set up nuclear reactors in Bangladesh, and technical cooperation and sharing of information in the field of nuclear safety and radiation protection. Then in terms of development cooperation, India is active in development activity in Bangladesh, and India has recently given several loans to Bangladesh. For example, it gave $750 million loan for developing Bangladesh infrastructure in 2011. Then in 2014, India extended $1 billion soft loan for infrastructural development. Then $862 million as a line of credit to Bangladesh for purchasing equipment and services from the Indian companies. And India recently announced a grant of nearly $10 million to Bangladesh for the implementation of various small development projects. And India and Bangladesh, they signed a memorandum of understanding for the cooperation in the field of health, medical sciences, that will include joint research in health and exchange of doctors and health professionals. And apart from this, India has also offered scholarships for the meritorious Bangladeshi under and postgraduate students as well as PhD researchers to undertake studies in traditional systems of medicines like Ayurveda and homeopathy. Then talking about the COVID-19 crisis cooperation, Bangladesh has recently procured 7 million doses of COVID vaccine from India, and India has also gifted further 3.3 million doses. And on 29th of April this year, Bangladesh has offered emergency medicines and medical equipment to India for the deteriorating coronavirus situation in India, where approximately 10,000 vials, oral antiviral, 30,000 PPE kits were offered, and India has also offered collaboration in therapeutics and partnership in vaccine production. Now talking about latest developments, recently PM Modi made a visit to Bangladesh on 27th of March this year, and he was the only foreign leader who was invited to attend the celebrations that marks the golden jubilee of Bangladesh independence. And PM Modi called for greater bilateral cooperation to counter challenges such as terrorism and to further boost trade and connectivity. And both the countries signed 5 agreements in the area ranging from trade to disaster management, and also discussed the progress in the areas such as health and energy. And then PM Modi handed over a symbolic key to Bangladeshi counterpart for 119 ambulances gifted by India, and also donated 1.2 million doses of COVID vaccines. And thereafter, two leaders virtually inaugurated several projects, including the border hearts or the markets. Then they released postage stamps marking the 50 years of diplomatic relations. And PM Modi described Bangladesh as a key pillar of India's neighborhood first policy. And while his counterpart has referred to India as a true friend, and they mentioned that both sides can play a significant role in global and regional value chains by further integrating their economies and boosting connectivity. So now let us discuss the last part of the video, that is the importance of Bangladesh for India. So the first is the connectivity of ports. So the nearest port for the northeast is Kolkata, and Kolkata is 1500 km from Aizawl and Agartala, and this route passes through multiple states and also through difficult terrain, so because of which trades become difficult. Now every product that is produced in northeast or needed in northeast has to be carried through one road, that is through Siliguri corridor. Whereas on the other side, the Chittagong port of Bangladesh is only 200 km from Tripura, and it mostly passes through flat land. And also a major Bangladeshi railway junction, Akhuda, is just 10 km from Agartala. So getting access through Bangladesh will save our time and labor. Then the second is migration. The major cities in India's northeast are close to the rural areas of Bangladesh, and for such people it is easy to find jobs in these cities rather than their capital Dhaka or Chittagong. So there is a massive migration, and that is rapidly impacting the demography of the northeast, and many tribals, they feel marginalized in their own territory. So India needs Bangladesh government's help to contain this flow of migrants. And thirdly, the most important reason, Bangladesh as an alternative route to northeast. So currently the Siliguri corridor remains the only link between the northeast and the rest of the India, and in case of any issue, a terrorist attack or any natural disaster, this would be completely cut off from the rest of the India. So India needs Bangladesh help that would reduce this risk. And on the eastern side of the Bangladesh is quite fertile, and it produces lot of rice, and this can be easily moved to Tripura, Mizoram and Manipur rather than dragging the food from West Bengal through Siliguri corridor or airlifting them. So that's why Bangladesh is needed as an alternative route. So friends, this is all about India-Bangladesh relations, and I have tried to keep this video as short as possible, and I hope this information will be beneficial for you. So till then, keep watching, keep supporting, and best of luck for your SSB.